Hi guys! Welcome to the lazy skirt sew along and sewing tutorial. In this one I've also added a little hack, a ruffled hem. So let's start by printing the pattern. And I'm printing the print at home version on A4 paper, but you can of course also print it on US letter. But most importantly, print it on 100% scale. And let's go. Please like and subscribe. Hey guys, I wanted to start today's video with a little demonstration on how to assemble the PDF patterns. And yeah, I've just printed mine out. It's on A4. Let's do this now. First things first, we want to find the numbers here on top, the numbers and letters, and you also want to see the thin gray line all the way around, and we want to trim the top and the left margin. So this one off. I'm going over to the cutting mat. I'm going to do it with my roller cutter because it's much faster. So first things first, we can check the test square. And if that's all okay, then let's start cutting. So I like to use a roller cutter and a metal knife or scissors or whatever is available. We want to trim the top and the left margin. And then we have the right margin and the bottom margin to stick the tiles together. And I'm using the glue stick now, and then I ran out, and then I'm using liquid glue. Anything goes. Tape is also great, but I find it a little bit wasteful sometimes. So glue sticks, whatever. And once we have it assembled, we can cut out the separate pieces, and we can also, of course, pick our size. I'm making a size L today. So my plan is to make a midi length skirt, but I want the lower part to be gathered. So I'm using the skater length cutting line to separate the lower part, and now I've folded it to get 8 pieces. And I will separate them, and then I want to spread them out. And I'm taking some extra paper, and this is US legal, it's extra wide. And then I am sticking the pieces with around 1 inch, 2.5 cm distance in between. It was actually a little bit too wide, so I've trimmed that off. In the end, it was as wide as the width of my fabric, but plenty together. So, talking about fabric, let's cut. And there is a diagram in the tutorial, so you can get an idea how you want to cut it. And I've just now placed everything on the fold, and then the pockets and the drawstring and the waistband as well. And now let's ruffle the hem. So it's our front and our back, and this is the gathered piece there. So now I want to stitch 2 rows along the side for gathering with the biggest stitch length. First one at 0.5, so flippers width. Number 5 or whatever is the highest on your machine, and don't reverse. So the ends should stay open, and then we can now fix the ruffled bit to the center there, to the middle. And I want to separate the top threads from the bottom threads. I usually do it with a pin, like this. And then you can easily push everything over the 2 threads. And yeah, I don't measure, I just kind of match until it fits. It's the easiest way in my opinion. And then we pin it all in place and we stitch it down. And I want to stitch right next to my gathering stitches at 1.5 cm. If you want, you can afterwards pull the gathering stitches out, or you leave them in. So front and back is a lot of sewing. So all the edges need overlocking first, including the pockets. So let's go to the machine. So first things first, let's overlock the raw edges, especially the seam that I just made, but also the side seams and the little pocket pieces. So let's go over that. So it's quite a lot of overlocking, and I've sped it up just a little bit. You want to be a little bit more gentle with the pockets and try to neatly overlock, serge around the curves, and don't chop off the corners. So let's grab the pins and iron everything a little bit. And now I want to find my notches again and place the pockets on the notches. They fit very well just like this. So find the notches, pin them in place, the line with the waist, and then we want to stitch them with 1.3 cm seam allowance, which is kind of 1/2 inch. And that's a little bit less than the side seam, which is 1.5, and this is 5/8 of an inch, and then it makes the pockets disappear. For the back, we can also edge stitch, and for the front, we just finger press. You saw me edge stitching just a second earlier when I was still talking. Now we want to place the front and the back on top of each other, and then let's pin them. So I want to place a pin exactly where the notches are there, and this will be the pivoting point. So that is very necessary for making the pockets kind of disappear beautifully in the side seams. And then the rest is easy sailing, match up the lines there for the gathers, and now we stitch it all with 1.5 cm, which is 5/8 of an inch. And yeah, curves are always a little bit tricky. So now I want to go straight to the notch there, over stitch until I'm a little bit over the original stitches, you guys see, and then next to these stitches I will continue my side seam. And I've pivoted at that point there, and a bit bumpy, but we get over that and reverse, and we're done. So we do that for the other side, and now remove the remaining pins and bring it all nicely into place. And then we want to also pin the pocket bag to the front, because that's where we need the pockets. And then we want to snip into the seam allowance right under the pocket bags so we can iron that open. But the pocket bags have to go towards the front, right? So we can't iron them open. So we iron them to the front and then check the pins. Now, let's take care of the waistband. And the waistband is also our tunnel. So we want to leave a little opening there. So first I'm going to stitch it a good 2 cm, maybe like 1 inch, and then a little bit more. So there's an opening between, like there. And then I want to top stitch it from the right side. And I'm not going to finish the edges because it's inside the waistband. And here you can see my little opening, and that's the drawstring opening. So I'm going to pin it right sides on right sides. Drawstring opening goes to the front, and the rest I just want to evenly pin. And then we can just stitch it with 1 cm, which is 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now let's iron that open, and let's iron all the seam allowances towards the waistband. And we also want to fold in the top 1 cm, 3/8 of an inch of the waistband there, like you saw me doing it. And then we just fold that down to our original seam that connects the waistband to the skirt. And you want to slightly overlap like this. So this edge is just overlapping the original stitches. Yeah, it's a little bit aesthetic going on here. And then we can edge stitch that from the wrong side, like the inside of the skirt. And also make sure that your pocket bags are kind of on the front, and these get stitched into the waistband as well. So let's make the drawstring the belt piece now. And we have these 2 long pieces. We want to stitch them together so we get 1 really long piece. And then I want to do this little trick where I'm now folding it right sides on right sides, and I'm folding the little string inside as well. Now I'm stitching the string to one side like this. It's basically, yeah, in there, right sides on right sides. Pivot around the corner. It's a little bit less than a cm seam allowance, probably just kind of like a 1/4 inch, like 0.6 or something. And we don't close the end, because now we want to use the string to turn our drawstring. And then that was so easy. If you don't have a tool to do it, do it like this. And now we can iron our little drawstring there and then top stitches. I'm using the special footer that gives you the perfect distance to the edge, but you can also just use your regular footer. I just love playing with like these different feet. And yeah, do a double top stitch and then also close the end. And now comes the horrible part where we have to fiddle it into the waistband. There's also tools to do it. You can also put like a safety pin to the beginning there, but I just use the knot and then I like massage it through. And if you want to put an elastic, you want to do it just like that. And then pull the elastic kind of out, stitch it together, and let it kind of fall into the waistband. So the final step is to hem the whole thing. And again, I'm using a little specialty foot here, a roll hem foot. So if you have one, give it a try. They're actually pretty cool and they give really nice like thin hems. If not, you can also just fold it and make a double folded hem. That's it. So guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed making this skirt with me. I'm saying bye-bye and see you next time. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment if you want. See you next time. Bye.